acquired and uncovered more information in the last cycle than I have received in many, many moons. I don't want anything from you other than your loyalty and your hard work. We deal in artifacts, and it has come to my attention that your engineer is sensitive to those kinds of items. His brother, a dealer of information. We could use someone like him. More importantly, I've heard that you've also caught the eye of some very powerful people.
Unfortunately.
Your distaste pleases me. I must know. Please tell me you're going to accept my gracious offer.
Well, I appreciate the offer, but I'm gonna have to say no. We're kind of free agents and would like to stay that way.
He says you are turning down Sedona.
Yes, I'm sorry.
He says I'm so very sad to hear that. I guess we'll just have to impound the Defiant for now. Have a good evening. And she says, listen, after the blockade's mission deep behind the Order's unsanctioned, well, blockade, our heroes made it home again. Against all odds, these heroes. I find their valor to be a perfect example of what a sacred principle that we as Zenithians hold and strive towards. Unity. They choose to defy the oppressor's unjust accidents, to tear away the gag some people would place over the mouths of progress. The disaster that followed, the Icon's righteous striking down of the agents of chaos, clearly shows the way forward. Our heroes fought for the Zenithians' ideals and were delivered from evil because of it. Stalwart in the face of darkness, children of the portal, an example for the future and proof that the mercy of the Icons comes only to those who follow the right leaders. Strength and grace come from only Zenithian's light. And she goes to speak again, and a bottle is tossed and smashes her right in the head.
He holds this tablet up and he says, "People of the Third Horizon, these are lies. As a first-come child of Algol, we do not represent the Consortium. We represent the Zenithians even less. These are lies perpetrated by the hegemony. We were brought to Uhara under armed guards that turned on us, that turned their weapons on us and brought us here. Our ship is being held here. We are at this party against our will. We do not represent these people. We represent the people of the Third Horizon, not the government, not the corporations. We are not heroes. We just want to be left alone." And the last thing he says, before he tucks it back into it, turns it off and tucks it back in his pocket, is "Free the Defiant, free the Third Horizon." Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for another episode of Void, Season 15, Episode 26. We are here. There's something going on. There was a news. There are criminals loose. Who knows what's happening? Definitely not me, least of all. But, as always, if you guys like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is by joining us over on Patreon, where you get all kinds of cool behind-the-scenes exclusives. It's way better than the Twitch sub. While you're down there, click on that link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. And, as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see that corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, Dot gets to do what the hell she wants to us. It's usually terrible. And two, every single dollar that goes into that goes back to these wonderful, amazing faces that you see here before you, and some of the faces you don't see here before you. That being said,
it's the loveliest of the faces.
Dot,
there it is.
What?
Take us to space.
Space. All right. Well.
I think that's the recap.
Well. Okay. So what had happened was, 4 friends in space
become famous overnight. That's what happened last episode. They are guests of honor at the largest, most influential and important event of a cycle in the Third Horizon. And as guests of honor, they're going to be honored at a dinner and what have you. But they have also caught the eye of three very, very important people, and they were all given a choice. And the crew of the Defiant have to choose. And they did last episode between a midst of strange interviews, dancing. There was some dancing. We had a cameo from our dear baby Jim boy. And like every good ball, it can't really end until there's a fight. And so based on some propaganda that Charity was given, I'm going to say given because she didn't write it. Yeah. That Charity was given, kind of turned the crew of the Defiant into these poster children for the Zenithian cause. They didn't like that so much, and neither did about 75% of the room, who represented other interests, political interests, including the Order of the Pariah, the Asterban. Well, there's quite a few. And chaos ensued, which was the perfect escape for all of them to take up one of three patron options. And they did. They picked one. Damn you, Mike. Damn you, Mike. I hate you. Charity is a sweet, dear girl, and
We compared her to Tommy Lern.
Dot. If I could borrow a Southernism about Charity, bless her heart.
Yeah, bless. Yeah,
Charity is really,
well,
really
don't you worry.
charismatic.
Y'all know that Charity girl, but bless her heart.
Don't you worry, because all of you saved Charity in the midst of that
Southernism.
chaos.
No, not all of us. Definitely pit this.
There was
only.
Just
one
one.
person
There was
saved
one
Charity.
person who actually
One
did that.
person saved Spammy Laren.
I don't know what you're talking about.
One person was feeling Charity's.
Actions have consequences. Sometimes even positive actions have consequences because cause and effect. And as our crew was running for cover, they found it and were pretty much escorted down after releasing Charity and helping her, which she was greatly appreciative of. And our crew stands dressed in some of the most fashionable and expensive attire that you can purchase in the Third Horizon. They look great, except they're panting and sweating because you're being led by two of these really they just look like rather normal people. Not quite as impoverished as the cellar, but you can tell that they work here. They're working class. Remember, it was the chef, of course, and the catering crew who led you out of the chaos that was the events at the palace of the Homogeny. Yeah, and as you cut down some areas and you are led into a room, and a woman that has already greeted you does so once again, this time in a less public place. It's not in a shop or a store. This seems to be a rather I don't know. Y'all may not know where it is. You don't know this place like you know Coriolis. Somebody can roll a survival if they'd like to see if you can figure out like how deep into the monolith you are, where you're at. The monolith is a massive, massive structure. It's broken down into 7 sections, starting from the bottom up, which includes, if you don't include the city around it, it includes the plaza, the fort itself of the Asterban, the Flower Palace, the Zenith Aviation Academy, the spaceport, the main spaceport here, the the Esplanade of Thousands, which is kind of this lavish boulevard, and then of course the extravagant castle that's at the top, which is the palace that you are exiting. So basically, you have at least 3 major sections to go to get to the spaceport, but you don't know where you are unless somebody wants to roll a survival. Oh, and it looks like we've got 2, so a 1 and a 2. You are deep. Okay, so I would tell you this. Malik immediately knows you have gone very deep inside the monolith. You've got to be somewhere between the Flower Palace and the Aviation Academy because you've dropped below the sounds of incoming transportation of the spaceport. Alia, I don't know that you've ever, I don't know in your history if you've ever been inside the monolith, but with a 2 limited success, you are pretty sure you're in some kind of internal wall system of the monolith itself, like secret hallways and such. Based on the lack of noise, you imagine that you're definitely at least in near and around the level of the Flower Palace itself, because you can smell. Your wits have allowed you to smell the like the water in the air, the plants and the flowers here, because this whole thing is like a massive greenhouse basically. So you've got to be near that level of moisture and that like atmosphere that they've created to make a botanical garden of a such grow inside of this like shell of a tower. And as you round the corner, there she sits, the same woman. She wears the same velvet red dress, beautiful gold paint on her face, very stoic, not at all surprised to see you clearly. And she gestures, if you would like to have a seat, there are plenty of places to stand, though this is a makeshift meeting room. Oh, and she once again pulls that machine out and like clicks the button. Yeah. She turns off any radio signals immediately. And she says, "It is going to be difficult getting your vessel back, but not impossible."
Any idea where it's being held?
I wish I could say it's here on Kua, but that's not the case.
Oh, of course not. That would be far too convenient.
He has it locked up in the net on Coriolis. We have a shuttle, a private one, that will take you here to there, along with 2 of our best men.
Who?
She gestures to the Jehu gentleman that you like ran behind this whole way, who never stopped running down these, like sliding down these hallways and stuff. And they're 2 rather normal looking men. One of them is the chef that you already met, and he kind of smiles. He's middle-aged, looks a bit worn around the edges. He's starting to get wrinkles in his face, laugh lines and such. A fatherly like figure, more than likely, just based on his stance and his presence. The other one is a bit sterner of face, very square-jawed. He has a scar down one side, which is actually mostly covered by a series of piercings that he has inlaid into the scar to like turn it into a beautiful thing and not a flawed thing. You don't know what he does, but he very clearly is also here undercover in whatever way inside of the and gestures to these 2 men.
Tal very obviously looks them both up and down and just nods. She definitely is trying to make sure she commits anything that is telling about them to memory.
Okay.
In case she's been betrayed before.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Where's that gonna pop up again?
Are you trying to hide the fact that you are...
No. She's very obviously looking them up and down. Like,
okay. So I imagine that she would pick up on that then. Sadi would. And she says, "If we are going to work together, you're going to have to trust us." I know you've been betrayed, and I can't imagine what you've actually been through. But part of the deal is that you're all in.
Yep.
She says, I promise. They will make sure that you get your ship. And we have an agent of our own on the docks of the net. A man that I recruited.
Okay.
Do they have a name?
It's Joey.
Please.
She looks over at Malik
Fuck off!
and she nods and she says, how did you know?
Fuck you, Dot. Malik looks through space and time and says, "Fuck you, Dot."
Yep. She says, how did you
just
know?
say?
We've encountered him before.
Yes, this is why I recruited him. It was my understanding that he had a very personal knowledge of the ship itself, and I thought, if we really want to recruit them, we ought to recruit the man who knows how to keep their ship together. So I put him undercover, pulled him from that horrid station in the Uhara system, and brought him to Coriolis. He's been taking care of your ship, reporting to me about everything that the judge has been, or the, whatever his name was, has been up to. Oh, I can't remember his name. The one that's holding your ship hostage.
Oh, that bastard.
There's the Consortium one. No.
Yes.
Yes.
She's,
Consortium was holding her ship.
Verone,
We forgot
Sedona.
about him
Yes, Sedona.
already because
Yep.
we said we don't want to date you. So it's fine.
She says,
You
yes, that's going
do
to cause...
not have a rose.
Yes, exactly. She goes, that is going to cause you some problems here and there. I'm going to suggest that you avoid Coriolis for a while. There are a certain amount of things that our influence, can handle. In fact, all of you now have a new patron, which means you also get a new talent for the group at large. And I believe that one is called, and I'm going to give it to you. I want to make sure I get it right.
Our talent has come in handy, though. Multiple.
Wait, does this replace the talent we already have, or is it just an additional?
It's a new talent called Well Connected. So when visiting new locations, you always find lucrative contacts willing to help you out. In this case, it's going to be her contacts, right? It will be her contacts. It can be used once per visit to a station or a city. Your new contact can supply you with business opportunities or protection, or introduce you to local rulers or influential people, etc., etc. And she says, but my name carries weight, as does now your place with us.
Is it public knowledge that we are joining you? Will it be made public knowledge?
I would suggest not.
Okay.
She kind of smiles and she says, but if you wanted to make it known, I guess it would sure make for interesting politics.
I just wanted to know if it's something that's open already. But
She says,
okay.
well, our organization is well known. Meaning like who she works for, right? The Aishan's like Emporium, the big Emporium they're all like a part of. And she's like, we are a well-known faction and
Fair enough.
hold power. So choosing to work for us is nothing that's going to land you in a prison. She looks at Tamir when she says that word because, and she says, we have handled your records. They've been wiped clean of any medical knowledge of anything suspicious.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now you have to make it worth our while. I am a businesswoman after all.
Of course.
Do you need us to find?
I want to know what you know. We are traders. I trade in information and rare items, artifacts, and bits of knowledge that others would find unbelievable. We use this knowledge to balance the third horizon, to be something other than the homogeny, than the pariah. We make our own system and rules. Those who handle trade and money hold as much power, if not more, than those who flaunt their politics. We expect you to tell us what you know, to bring us more information, and to work as agents for the Emporium.
Dot, where we are, is there a computer or something?
Nope. This is like a literal, like, small nugget of space that's opened up in a hallway, like a wall hallway.
Mm-hmm. So Malik looks to her and says, do you have a data pad?
I can get one, though at the moment I'm blocking all signals to and from, so... security reasons.
I don't need to send a signal. I was just asking if you have one on you.
She reaches under the wrapped dress that she wears and the gold piece that ties it around her waist, and she pulls out a data pad and she hands it to you.
He takes his own and plugs them in together. And you see him like hit a few things, like tick across the thing, and just several bars just start loading. He says, "Here's everything. That should cover this much at least."
Wow. She says, well, that is a mighty start, though it will take us time. You cannot stay here. You cannot go to Coriolis. What is your plan?
We were hoping that you could help us with that. I mean, we can't go to our ship. You tell us we can't be here. We can't go to Coriolis. It's not really leaving us with many options.
I don't actually know what it is you know. I've heard rumors and whispers. Since the messenger emissary's death, the flight of the other emissaries is troubling. Regardless of whether or not you believe in the icons. People missing. Disappearing out of nowhere. Mysticides, maybe. But then all of you came back. And for whatever reason, they sent you back out into space. They sent you back out on another mission for what?
Is that rhetorical?
No,
Oh.
It is not, she says, very plainly. She says, I don't know what you know. She says, everything that you have been feeding has been going straight to the Consortium, and of course they keep it under lock and key.
The other half of the Ghazali.
The ship.
Yeah.
The lost one. No, you mean the Zafirah.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, the other half of the Severe. It popped out in Uhara.
On the other side of the blockade.
Well, there wasn't a blockade when it popped out.
But
What a...
they needed
you-
someone who could run a blockade, and, well, you're looking at him.
I see. So you pass through the blockade, you locate this vessel, and what?
Oh, well, there turns out that in most of Coriolis and all of the factions we can think of, they have members of the Nazarene sacrifice are secretly embedded everywhere.
Everybody in the room that is an empath of any kind, like has empathy, will immediately see her face change.
Malik has
It
empathy
hardens
out
and
the
it's
ass.
Stiffens
Yup.
when he says Nazarene sacrifice, and she says, I'm sorry.
No, you heard me right. And then they tried to kill us. And then we
The
killed
Nazarene
them.
sacrifice has not existed for 60 years.
And
Well,
we're telling you that they're back.
Well, when someone says something, 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 I'm Nazarene sacrifice and tries to kill you, you try to believe what they say.
You're telling me the Nazarene sacrifice already has agents out in the third horizon?
Yes. I don't
They
think
have for a long time.
Yeah, I don't think they disappeared.
She stands. I must go.
Okay.
Before
I'm
you go,
going-
there's something else.
Ooh,
Cryptic.
okay. Go ahead.
And that's when I don't know if actually Alia had the chance to discuss the ships or what the vision she had about the ships with the rest of the crew, just because everything's been going on.
You have not.
No, okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. We blew up and that was it.
Yeah.
We escaped.
So this is the moment where she stands up and goes, before we all left, and I haven't had the chance to discuss this with anybody yet, but when I took that moment to just figure out what I could do to help, I went into a sort of a meditative state, and somehow I was able to connect with the ship. They're alive. Every single one of them. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how it works, but those ships are not just some inanimate objects.
Ship. What ship?
The white butterfly?
The white butterflies.
Is that what you saw?
Yes. And
These are
it's not the
vessels
only
whispered
one.
of the first horizon.
Yes.
One of them made it
Horizon
through.
is already here.
One of them made it through and it crashed. Its entire purpose was to stop the information getting out, and it tried to destroy the Ghazali by destructing itself. And there's hundreds, if not thousands more, waiting in between the first and the third horizon.
She seems troubled. Her face is weary. Once the data pads kind of beep and are done, she removes hers and quickly puts it back in, and she says, I have much information that I must deliver, and clearly things I must go through. I will be in touch within the next 24 hours regarding your next mission. I have a feeling with this kind of information, I may be able to suss out some options. I am gonna do some rolling. I'm gonna roll off a table from the book based on a few things.
While you're rolling, Dot, before she leaves, Malik looks at her and says, listen, not to overstep or sound boastful here, but you should probably have whatever makes for your above top. And he looks at the chef guys work on that. There's footage of between jumps. There is astrological calculations never attempted before, twice in there. And that's just the first tab.
If you are suggesting that I'm incapable of sorting the data,
No,
I appreciate your concern.
I'm
but I
suggesting
assure you,
that people are incapable of understanding the data. We barely understand it, and we did it.
yes, but you are not us. At
Just
least
saying.
not yet. Malik, you've been on my radar for a long time.
That's
Since the 3 months that you spent hacking and using the energy of Coriolis to do whatever it was that you were busy doing.
that's on there too.
Then you went off the grid. That being said, you are very good at collecting information. We are very good at deciphering it.
Let's hope so.
And she boops you on the nose.
Fucking, of course she does that.
And she says, now, I must get back to business and give this to the right people. These two are yours for the next 24 hours. They have a vessel. I suggest you get to Coriolis and you get there quickly. The events of this evening will spread very quickly, and I have a bad feeling about tomorrow morning's news. And she says, oh, Malik, the next time you feel that you should go on a political rant live in front of the third horizon, you should think about your family. And she gestures to the people in this room because that's the only family she knows you have.
Yeah, I think before she gestures, Malik starts to say something, and then
Yeah, she gestures to your family. She says, I say that because we've all had our rants. And it's always those that we love that suffer. Until next time. And she nods to the two agents she has left with you, and she walks back the way you came in, and the chef gentleman goes, we should go this way.
Okay. Is there any way to get a change of clothes on the way? And Tal, like, kind of gestures down to the green floor length gown that she has on. Like, this is really not the best thing to steal a ship in.
They're like, we didn't really. He goes, we didn't account for the time necessary to change clothing.
I mean, literally, if you just have an extra. Never mind. Whatever.
Lamar goes, but I want to keep the dress.
It looks great on you, Lamara. Let's go. Let's go.
And I love you so much. So practical, and you're having to slide down these corridors in this dress.
Talla's not used to wearing skirts or dresses or anything long and flowy and dangly. She's like tripping over herself and like holding it up like up here and stuff, trying to like make sure she doesn't fall. It's very bad looking as they're going through the.
And he says, maybe we can find you something. We're going to have to hit a safe house for the night anyways. The port is far too busy for us to try to escape this evening. We'll do it at first daylight tomorrow, while the net is at its slowest. Joey is going to be meeting us with the reactor core needed. If you're speaking, I can't hear you.
Great.
Yep.
Great. Wonderful. He leads you down and around, and eventually to a more public area. You can hear people now. There's still a little bit of that late night muttering after a party where people are still trying to find something that's open, but everybody's definitely at last call. And he leads you into the back of this shop. Quaint to the naked eye, but he pushes like a back wall open. It has like some things hanging from it. And when he does, you can feel like warmth and light from the other side. And there's some cots. And the walls are covered in, have basically been repurposed and are housing tons of artifacts. And he says, I guess if you're looking for clothes, you can try that. And he gestures to a chest. He says, most of this in here is lost and found or exchanged. We keep it here. It's a safe house.
Works for me. Someone's got a pretty dress later. And I will go through and essentially find any pair of pants and regular shirt that covers most of me is fine. Something, give me pockets, please.
Okay. Let's see. What would you find? Because this is all like really bizarre. Okay. You find a pair of well, you find a pair of pants. No problem. There's literally nothing special about these pants. They are just like bare minimum. They're pants. They're probably too large because they're definitely men's pants. So you're going to have to tighten them down with like whatever belt or sash you may have on you.
You say there's nothing special about these pants. Alia goes, bless.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. They're now blessed pants.
They are now
Damn
blessed
it.
pants. And then
Pants now.
I would say you find what's a oh no, even better. You don't find pants, you find a jumpsuit. Somebody has come through here that probably was posed as like a mechanic or like a day worker of some kind, and clearly needed a change. And this is what they left behind. I feel bad for whoever's coming in looking for clothes after what you're leaving behind.
Actually, at that point, like Alia comes up behind and actually like starts folding it up and like rolling it up into a small bundle because she really liked Eris. Like she could tell that Eris actually Eris enjoyed the dress while she wore it, right? Like Tal. Sorry, yeah, Tal.
Yeah, Tal enjoyed the dress. Yeah, okay.
Right. I just want to make sure.
I
just want to make sure because I thought I remember you saying that.
No, Tal's really uncomfortable in finery.
Okay.
She has no want for she never wears jewelry. She didn't even wear jewelry with this. She only wore the clothes that she was given because it would be rude to say no.
Got it. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because I thought I remembered something like that, but never mind. I was mistaken.
No, Lamara likes hers.
True.
Lamara nods and goes,
I kind of just hands it to Lamara because she's like
Lamara like tucks it somewhere, maybe tightens it under her sash. Like Lamara, no, we're not Lamar's gonna make sure we keep that dress. We never know when we're gonna need it again. Anyways,
Meanwhile,
so there's a
Cal's
jumpsuit.
rolling up the bottoms of the jumpsuit.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little big. You try to like belt it down in the center. It's a little oversized, but it's not the dress. All of you basically spend the night. It's already really late. You're gonna only get a few hours of sleep. If any of you had damage, I don't think any of you have taken damage because none of you took damage in the combat, right?
No.
Great. Or in the great
combat.
escape, in the greatest party escape. Okay, great. So it is actually the chef. He never tells you his name. The other guy also calls him the chef. The chef is the one that wakes you all with the sound of radio static. As he kind of like tunes in a local station, and or maybe it's like a small, like one of those tiny monitors, like so you can get the TV, but it's like real tiny. It's not like a special HUD deck or anything because you're in like a safe house. And the first voice that you're all greeted with as you wake this morning, early, is the ever familiar and comforting Charity. And her voice comes through, though there's a, if you're attuned to it, one might call it a shift. And she says, "Third Horizon, have I got a story for you? It's me, Charity, here with your Monday morning news. And there is a shake-up here in the Third Horizon. Last night's party ended in devastation. Nothing but chaos ensued. And I, Charity, was injured on the scene." And she like pulls the her hair back to show you like a small set of stitches. And she says, "But once again, the heroes of the Third Horizon, the Defiant, rose up in our time of need, and they rescued me, carried me from..." I'm so sorry. I'm not laughing at Charity. "They carried me from the jaws of death into the next phase of my life. Today is Charity's last day as a news anchor. I've decided that moving forward, I'm going to dedicate my life to showing honor to those on the Defiant who have worked so hard to keep the people of the Third Horizon safe. As of next week, Charity is going full-time producer. We will now have full-time programming here in the Third Horizon dedicated to those we love the most." Based on some things, I'm going to spend some darkness points here to set up a news or a TV station that now broadcasts charity-produced Defiant obsessed content.
Oh no, we have a fan cam.
KP,
This is
you did this.
This is an announcement from Mike, the producer. Thank you, everyone who has enjoyed the ride of Void. This is the last episode, and we appreciate all you've done. We've had a blast. Goodbye.
And she says, and the first show that I can promise you, it's gonna be called. What? I need a really bad name for a sitcom. It needs to be called like, Space is Big. It's gonna be called Space is Big.
Big,
The
big
sitcoms-
spaces. Just big spaces.
Big Spaces. It's called Big Spaces, and it's going to tell the actual story of the crew of the Defiant. It starts airing next week. Tune in and don't miss it. She goes, "Even I, Charity, will be acting in this afternoon drama." Reprise, or she can't reprise, starring in the role of Lamara. There you go. I have notes. Moving forward every week, based on the decisions that all of you make, we will get I will do a broadcast of shows. I will channel flip and let y'all know. I've got
I actually have no regrets.
There will be a news replacement. There will be a news replacement, but I haven't figured out what that's going to be yet. I think there's. So, I hit the Discord, y'all. give me ideas for Defiant-driven TV shows. I've got The Bachelorette, which is going to have a Bachelorette that looks a lot like Alia.
Oh God!
So there'll be like a Bachelorette TV show. There's definitely going to be like an ER style TV show that features Lamora. I've got a sitcom TV show that's like Friends, but it's all of you. Now called Big Spaces. So anybody want to fill a corruption bar? I can keep going.
I just love you so much. So much. Oh my God. I'm cringing internally, but what kind of a savant mind do you have? I don't
Y'all,
know.
this is last week. Remember in the after show last week? And y'all were like, blah, blah, blah. And I can't wait to blah, blah, blah. And we said that. I was like, oh, I just had an idea. Yeah, that was it.
Someone
like,
said fresh off the shuttle.
Oh, God. And Charity continues. He says, but as my last day as news anchor, it would not bode well if I, the great Charity, did not bring you one final news broadcast. I broke this show. I broke us. I'm so sorry. I have to read the news to all of you, and I can't keep a straight face at the moment. And Charity basically continues, and she begins recounting last night's event. She does the basic stuff, and then she says, but I must tell you, this morning, or no, she gets the and she goes, oh, this just in, after last night's events, political change happens across the consortium. Let's see. I'm going to make sure I get this right. Nope. Yeah. She says, she kind of accounts a few things happening. Most importantly, the person that was in charge kind of gets de facto aid removed, which is kind of a big deal. The order has been asked to remove their military power, basically, that they are going to alleviate their military power and leave that to the homogeny, which is kind of like unheard of, I guess you could say. Yeah. And when Charity is all done, make sure I get all of that for you. Yep. When events are all done, she simply says, it is a strange day. Last night, I spoke of new horizons and the dawning of a new cycle, one where we could all come together. I see now that things are different, not as they seem. Something is wrong in the third horizon. I do not know what it is, but I can feel it. Can't you? And for the first time last night, carried in the big, strong arms of Alia, I didn't feel like we were so lost. Like somebody was there. I leave my broadcast today with a rather impromptu recording of the final broadcast of last night's banquet. Brought to you by one of the Defiant themselves. A proper rebel. A son of Algol. And she hits play on Malik's message. Before the message finishes, you can hear the, like, boop, they cut it. They cut the line. And you can hear, like, if you're listening to radio, it would be like, we're having technical difficulties. Please tune in, kind of a thing. And then on the screen, you can see it. It gives you like the bars, as if it's having technical difficulties, but they cut the feed before Malik's message was played out and Charity's morning news.
Just
chef
convert
just
space
looks at all
Tommy
of you.
Lorraine.
Yeah. Basically, the chef looks at all of you like, what the fuck have you done?
So, Alia, this is why we don't save people.
Alia can't say anything.
Because you saving Charity last night just made our job way harder. For
You can't blame
like ever.
Alia, though. She did what she thought was right. There's
Well,
people we've saved that
I
we've shown
understand
regret.
things may be more difficult, but if I see someone who, just because they have wrong opinions or is a little bit annoying, doesn't put them in the place to be hurt like that. And yesterday, I had a vision where if I had left her, it wouldn't have just been a simple scar on her forehead. She would have died last night, and I couldn't have had that on my conscience. So if it means because of this, I will have a difficult path or more difficult path than already, I'm willing to accept that. But I do apologize for putting you on it as well.
Marcus, they're going to make a show about me. That's cool, right? That's cool.
I mean, that's really cool. That's great. That's absolutely phenomenal. I'm very happy for you. Tal does not look happy at all.
You don't want a show?
No, I don't want to be famous. I specifically have tried not to be famous or well known or anything. I say no to big jobs and try to just go on simple things. I don't want anything like this. I don't want people to know who I am.
But you're like a total babe and a badass by all technical definitions. And
That's very true.
You fly a ship and are a captain, and people find that, I don't know. And Lamar kind of like tucks her toes and she's like, sometimes we need people to look up to. And there are a lot of bad people out there that we're tricked into looking up to.
And
But
at that point,
and she says, but you're actually who you say you are. You're the real deal, Taltuma.
And at that point, Alia kind of puts her hand on Lamara's shoulder and kind of gives her like a comforting squeeze, like an affirmation, and goes. She looks at both Tamir and Tal and goes, I know things are difficult, and I know that suddenly having this level of visibility and responsibility and pressure is not something anybody chooses or asks for. But it's always the good people who are the ones who don't want it, but yet are faced with it and rise up to the challenge. It's only the ones who seek out power, who use it and abuse it. And you and I have been given a power that we need to know how to control and use and portray in the right light. We have a level of responsibility that no one else does. You are mystics like me. And until now, we have already been placed in the wrong light, whether we chose to or not. So we can definitely choose to recede and hide and no one's going to blame you for it. I won't. I know how that feels. But when so much is at stake and we have the capability to do something about it, it could be just a drop in the entire ocean. I feel that that is a responsibility that we need to take up now. What you choose to do with your power is up to you. But know that we no longer, and you as well, Malik, we no longer are, at least I think at this point, we are no longer just affecting our own when we make decisions.
Well, don't drag me into that.
The galaxies, huh?
Don't drag me into that.
Oh no, it's not. At this point, it's not even about the mystic powers. To her, it's like, we have been put in the limelight, and whether we want to or not, we've been elevated to a position where people are watching, and our decisions, the way we act, what we do, will affect more people than we can ever imagine. And I hope you have a time or a chance to think about that.
Alia, I completely appreciate this concept, okay? The thing is that everybody knowing what our faces are, what we look like, what our names are, just makes it harder for us to do the things that we need to do. Because now we have people reporting every movement to everybody. So it's easy to track us now. You know how hard it is going to be to steal our ship now that Malik's message has been heard by everybody?
The chef says, I don't mean to interrupt, but out there, and he gestures, meaning out in the third horizon. He says, most people don't even get TV.
Well, thank the icons.
He says, I don't know, find comfort in the fact that those that are going to harbor you won't look at you that way.
Good.
And he says, and now I have to ask all of you, even as famous as you are, to get in these boxes. And he walks over to a wall that looked pretty solid. It was like steel. And he actually hits a hole in the wall. He puts his finger in a hole in the wall, and you can hear him click a button, and that whole thing rises up like a garage door. And on the other side, you can see a van has been backed up into it. There are a series of crates. Only you're each gonna have to fit in one crate. And he said, "Who's first?" Lamar goes, "I love this game." She hikes the dress up and plops in a box and gets inside, and you see him and put it down, and on the side of the crate it says laundry. You can see it's a laundry truck, and two very boisterous men dressed in laundry uniforms, these white jumpsuits, come over and pick it up and slide it into the truck, and you can hear Lamar giggle from inside the crate.
At least I get my own. And he walks over to the next one.
It's a little heavier, and they push Malik in. You can hear Charity go, "Psst, hey Malik."
Yeah.
This is kind of fun.
So fun.
Go ahead, Tal.
I go ahead and get in a box.
They lid you in and they slide you down just as you hear Charity say, "This is fun." Lumara say, "This is fun."
Is there a box big enough for Alia?
Yeah. It's all the same size box. So it's gonna be you'll be able to fit in. It's just gonna be a smidge tighter. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, that's
Tal
fine.
has much more room than you do.
The shelf helps them with that box, just to make sure it doesn't, And all basically, unless somebody doesn't get in a box, does nobody get in a laundry crate? Great. All of you can feel it hovering. This laundry. It's really more it's like the way old milk trucks are. It's open in the back, but it's like a speeder in the front, and it levitates. And they move you along with all of these laundry bags and laundry crates through the spire. And eventually you get to where you're going, because you can hear it come to a stop as the whole thing powers down. And you're moved into another location. You can feel the crates Lumara giggles the whole time. And you know the sound of a ship leaving. You could hear it. You're on a vessel, headed straight for Coriolis. Haha, y'all like that? I saw it. Yeah,
I couldn't tell if that was someone driving by your house or if he meant that. I was like, wow, what fortuitous timing for that guy to race by your house.
And you hear comms, say, this is, Coriolis. This is Coriolis. State your purpose. Approved. Docking station 19
Kyle
And-
hears the
yep.
docking station. She commits that to memory. So she
Yeah,
knows
you're
where
like,
she
okay.
is.
And you would know this is the lower level of the net that is going to be closest to the cellar, right? They're probably delivering laundry to be done, and then laundry is going to go back. Like there's like a whole thing, right? And all of your lids are like cracked and popped open. You're met with the face of the chef now in a matching laundry jumpsuit, as well as the kind of gruff stone-faced man who said very little to you over the last like 8 hours. You're back on Coriolis. You can smell it. You can feel it, the hot, recycled air from inside this massive space station. If you call Coriolis home, you're home. And you see, they say something. They do, ooh. Roll an observation. You're going to need 2 successes, but if you get 2 successes...
I got 2 successes.
Oh, okay. All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, 1 second. Observation?
JP, you're muted.
I said I don't have an observation, but I can do a wits roll.
Yeah, you can just do a fine wits roll. Yeah, that's
1
fine.
success.
Oh, goddamn, yeah!
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Fuck
Okay,
yeah.
nice. All right. Okay. Tao, I love this. Tao and Alia, you both witness as they leave the 2 men who originally loaded all the crates in, like the big burly men delivering laundry, that definitely look like they're not supposed to be delivering laundry. They do a handshake with the chef to like complete this deal. I'm going to say, Tao, you notice the handshake and pick up on it somewhat. Alia, you memorize it almost immediately. So it would be something that you could teach the crew. It seems to be some kind of sign of transaction, right? Remember, they're the Draconites, right? Where they're all about transaction and trade. And so they're not actually passing anything, but there is this very delicate and specific handshake that is done between them. You can see it's almost like a secret handshake. And it's done very quickly and privately. And then they pull each other close and like kind of hug each other on the back. And the 2 men depart, and that vessel takes off to exit. And the chef turns back around to all of you.
Do we know where my ship is?
He nods. He says, we believe so. If it is where we think it is, and based on our intel, we will be able to get there. But we're going to need to stay a bit on the down low. So we've reached out to some friends. And you hear the like from the gorilla-sized man next to him. And he says, allies. The chef corrects himself, and there's a bit more of a agreement there. And he says, I've been told you may know her.
Ooh.
Great.
Come on.
Timbir is literally just shaking his head like, the fuck
Who could it be?
icon?
Who
Like,
could it be?
Is it
Literally
is it-
everybody
who it
we
is.
care about and
this
actually give a
really-
damn about us is on the ship except for Sholey. Like, and everybody else hates our guts.
Like, why couldn't we find Soul? Bet if we found Soul, he'd be able to help us find a place to hide. Why does it have to be...
A silhouette comes into the doorway. A very familiar one. And Lumara goes, oh, hey, look, it's her. As like the line, she steps into the light and it pans across her face. She doesn't wear like her makeup or anything because she's not like in dancer attire right now. She wears her hair tight in like a very tight bun, slicked back, and she kind of smiles and she says,
Hello,
"What?
sister.
Did it surprise you?"
Not at all.
She says, "Such hostility."
Alika actually kind of just walks up and kind of just immediately like cups her cheeks and then just like does like a big sister kind of a check over kind of a thing, like just to see if she's okay.
She said,
Completely ruining her entire suave look.
She says,
Like,
"I'm
just like that.
fine. I'm fine. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it." She says, "I'm fine. I heard that we are working for the same people." Funny, isn't it? How far we've come.
More like happy.
She looks past her sister to all of you. Do you look happy?
Tal's got a bit of a smirk on her face, like, yeah, I fucking knew it. But she doesn't actually look that amused.
You see, all this time you thought I was some syndicate toy. Really? You think I'm that shallow? Better use all of this for the syndicate? They don't pay me even half of what the Draconites do. I'm an information broker. I have my ways of getting what I need. Some people call me a pirate or a corsair.
Well, you put the name on your ship, so yeah, of course they're gonna call you that.
Well, it's a good cover. Plus, all of you thought I was working for the syndicate, so...
It's because
At
I've
least they'll never know
literally
the
seen you work for the syndicate.
You mean I'm undercover in the syndicate?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Malik. What? You don't like
Nothing.
the way I do business?
You have your ways and I have mine.
Well, it looks like our ways are now the same.
Well,
I'm going to escort you to your ship. We've been keeping an eye on it for you.
Sure you have. After you.
She kind of nods and she smiles at the chef. He smiles back at her. They're going to put themselves behind you, right? Their job is to keep y'all safe. So they put themselves behind the four of you, kind of sandwiching you between her and them. As you kind of push through parts of the cellar, slide between walls, and you'll come out in certain areas, and you may run amok and then head into another alleyway. But you seem to be working your way through a non-normal fashion through Coriolis to the net.
Sorry, one second.
Oh, you're good. Does anybody say anything, or do you just follow her?
Tamir wants to try to sense if any artifact is nearby.
Go ahead.
Particularly his friend
One
artifact.
particular one.
Just in case.
His friend effect.
Yeah, his friend. His artifriend.
His artifriend, yeah. All right, go ahead and roll your mystic ability. Okay.
One.
You try to reach out and see if you can feel Tubit's presence. You do not. Tubit's presence is
Okay.
As somebody that can tune into artifacts. It doesn't mean you don't tune into other things, though. You pick up the slight vibes that there may be some like minor artifacts floating about some of the stands here in the cellar, which is normal. Like it's almost like they haze past you, right? You kind of see them, but they're not important. They're not important. They're not important. Artifact. You see that she has something on her. You can feel it radiating off of Amira. But you don't know what it is. It's definitely on her person. It's kind of like radio waves, right? Like you can see it emanating, but you can't pinpoint a location.
Okay.
Just feel it on her. She has an artifact of import on her. You also feel the scarabs in your pocket or like on your bag or whatever you're carrying.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Noted.
If nobody says anything, she does successfully lead you down, and you can see.
I was going to say, sorry, I didn't realize.
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah, if you got something to say, because she's basically leading you in silence, like down and around. You'd cut across an alley. You'd hit a place here. She's slowly moving you towards the net, but doing it out of the eye of the general populace.
Yeah, I think like the entire time Alia is just kind of like checking her over and basically asking like it's been a while. How long has it been since she's seen Samira or Amira?
Amira, what you saw her on your?
I think the last was it
shot.
Like after, yeah, and then we saw her after
shot.
after we rescued Soul, right?
You saw her. She appeared at last season. I gotta think back. She appeared once last season. It
was at the cafe. Like we all met.
You haven't seen her since you came from the other side of the Third Horizon. Mm-hmm. Remember, you left her when you broke Soul out. Yeah. So it's been a few weeks. Easy.
Yeah. Okay.
If not more. Yeah.
Yeah. I think like
a few months.
Mm-hmm. So then, yeah, I think like Alia does your.
It was a 2-month journey back from the Otacon system to.
There you go. So it's been a few
Coriolis,
months.
And then however long it was from Coriolis to Uhara, and then we've been dead for a month, right?
Right. So it's been
dead for 2 weeks. So yeah, it's been at least maybe 2.5 months.
Got it. Yeah, I think like Alia just kind of looking in to see, like asking like the typical big sister questions, like have you been eating well? What have you been doing? Have you been getting into any new trouble? Kind of being like the annoying older sister kind of a thing that just gets into.
Do you ask her all of those things at once?
I think like just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna fucking annoy her.
Okay. Are you purposely trying to annoy her? Because I can roll for that. Okay.
Oh no, like she's not trying to. She's just been like, hasn't seen her in a while. I mean, regardless of how, like, because I think Alia knew from the very beginning that, you know, Samira isn't really a bad person in the sense of like she knows that she's been doing things for the right causes, just in the bad way, and she's kind of happy that finally like she feels like they're finally on the same side, kind of, as deluded as that might be, probably.
Yeah. So, she goes, I imagine that Sholly would be very upset if she knew we were working together.
Never. I feel like a broken record, so I'm not going to repeat it. But you still have a long way to go before figuring out the situation. So I think let's just give it a rest, right? But know that I'm happy to see you.
She goes, yes, I was rather surprised to see that it was your name on the list that I was picking up today. I was actually surprised that it was all of your names. She says loud enough for all of you to hear. It's not like she's trying to be quiet about this conversation, it seems. And she says, now, as much as I'd like to catch up and chat about dearest Sholly, we should be quiet. I think somebody's watching us. And you can see like her senses kick in. Like you watch her go from guide to predator, like in an instant. And she like puts her hand up to stop all of you. And she kind of looks around. You're headed through like an alleyway that's made of like stacks and different metal structures that have been like built here inside of this, made of old ship parts and pieces and steel. And she looks up and oh no, I'm sorry, that's not what I wanted to roll. Ignore that. I don't know if she's gonna see it or not. She does not. Oh, she does. She looks up and she catches something. And she says, we have to move quickly now. And she picks up pace and begins a run down this alleyway. Do all of you follow?
Yes.
Yep.
Great. You see the chef and the other man also take up point. The chef, you didn't know, he is pulls out from his jumpsuit 2 knives, chef's knives, that he kind of like spins around and holds like daggers. And he begins looking around, seeing that she saw something, though he's not sure what it is yet. The big man behind him kind of starts cracking his knuckles as if he's gearing up. He knows that a fight is coming. And as all of you like round a corner, and Amira says, we're almost there, and you all can see like out the end of this tiny alleyway is your ship. Now it's on the far side of like a docking station, and you can see there's like some people mulling about. And I'm gonna have you all roll an observation here in just a second as you kind of come to a stopping point. But you hear it behind you, the sound of like a right? Big man, something drops, an agent of some kind drops out and down the alleyway and hits this man, and he begins, they're tussling. He's like slamming him against this wall, slamming him against that wall. You can see that the chef turns and he says, go, keep running. With one observation, this is definitely a Defiant. It looks very clean. And you see Joey. He is in his little jumpsuit. He looks like everybody else. And he's like standing near the ship trying to look busy. Like he keeps like, and then pulling the bolt out and then putting it back in, just trying to like look busy standing here because clearly he's not supposed to be here.
I love Joey.
Perfect.
And all of you kind of stop. There's a stack of crates, like cargo crates, in front of you, and all of you are basically crouched. Mira like gets you to crouch, and you can see you're that close to the ship. And she says, "He has your reactor, whatever." And the ship goes, "We have to move now." And she goes, "But Tau, you see that there are 3 Coriolis guards with guns, like security, on the docks right now. If you made a run for the ship." If you made a run for the ship, they're going to see you. That is what you see with 2 observation. You see Joey and you see the...
Are there a lot of people around?
There's probably 10 or 12 people like in this area. One of them is like working a thing, like moving big crates, like like a piece of machinery. It's a work area. There's some parts around that you can see that they... Oh, Tau, because I am that person. You can see the piece of metal that was on the outside of a ship that had the original lettering of the Defiant on it. It like lays in a pile, a trash heap off to the right.
Is it close enough that I can get to it without like being super obvious?
You can roll a stealth to see if you're obvious if you want to get over there. But yes, you could sneak over there if you wanted to try to sneak over to that piece.
Also, Gnome had a question.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I missed the question.
Let's go. So is this like a Bluetooth thing? Like if they get closer to the ship, does Tamir's comms reconnect to Sally? Because we can turn that bad boy on now.
You don't know because you don't know what's been done to it. How about this? What actions want to be taken? So Tau may want to sneak over and check out this piece, the original piece of the Defiant, this junk heap.
Oh, if the connection's not there, Tamir wants to just go blow something up as a distraction. Get that fire suppressant system working and the attention away from something way more important than the Defiant itself.
Okay.
When in doubt.
Blow shit up.
You know?
It's the Al-Assad way.
Definitely our style.
Okay. I mean, you would know this, that this is, yes, this is a dock, right? There's a big door to your right where the ship leaves when this area gets vented into space, because that's how space works. Everybody has to go inside, right? They relieve the atmosphere and then they let space in. And then you exit it and they close it back off and they put air back in it. A great way to just solve this problem would be to get on your ship and vent this whole garage.
You know who's great at venting shit into space? Malik. He has a history of venting shit into space.
There are a few different ways that you could do it. God, how bad do I want to be to them, y'all? We haven't used the corruption bars yet. Anon has given us another one. And there's like Amira puts out a whistle, and you can see the big guy comes around the corner. He's injured now. He's holding his side. He's bleeding. He comes out and he goes, "We better hurry. They're going to send more." And he holds up a symbol, like a necklace that was around the neck of whoever this person was that he's left probably incapacitated in this thing that she slipped out of. Amira looks at that and tries to reach for it and grab it, and he pulls it back. He says, they're going to want to see this. And he pockets it. The chef goes, he looks at his big friend and he says, maybe it's time for a distraction.
Question, was that the same symbol from the
butterfly ship?
No, from Dara, whatever her name is.
Yeah, the agents that tried to kill us. Shit.
Oh, you mean the ones that came in on Lumara?
No, the ones that tried to kill
Dahlia
us.
and Nadina had.
Oh, yes, that's the exact same symbol.
Same symbol. Okay.
Farouk
Yes, it's Nazarene agents. They were a Nazarene agent.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yes, I got you.
Okay.
Yes, they are Nazarene agents.
Sweet.
Or at least that is the same symbol, same necklace. And you see the chef go, because I'm gonna spend some darkness points. You see the chef go, I tell you to hang on, but that kind of defeats the purpose. And he takes one of his chef's knives and he slings it, he tosses it across the way, and it flies like a bullet. And it sticks into a box that's like attached to the wall that has a lot of cabling and stuff. Probably both of the brothers here are, and well, no, you might all know that's the gravity box. That's artificial gravity box. And pretty much immediately everything in the lights go boom, right? Yellow caution lights start going off, and you hear that voice.
No, yes. Please evacuate the deck immediately. Please evacuate the deck immediately.
I head to the ship.
So you're all floating because there's no gravity. So what we're going to do is a series of dexterity checks or agility checks at a -2 for no gravity. You're not in a suit. There's still air. But you have to mitigate this. And immediately the chef, he goes, I hope you can move quickly.
Nope.
And he kind of pushes off of a wall and out in the middle. And he kind of yells, hey! His big friend follows him, and you can see the 3 guards kind of turn their focus. They're kind of floating with their guns, trying to as they're trying to get themselves righted.
Can I use my because -2 to my 2 agility puts me to 0.
Yep.
But Tamira's used to being in 0 grav because of his work. I'd argue. And I'd also like to go ahead and use the gearhead. And kind of quickly rig, like, as they were floating, like, oh, look, there just happens to be, like, an oxygen tank of some sort, just enough to give him a little propulsion. And just kind of rig it as a temporary,
just imagine Tamir riding on top of an oxygen tank. Whee!
Okay, here's what I'll let you do. You can take a -1 instead of the 2 to start. But I will let you make a science check.
Ooh, okay.
To go along with this, which is for the use of this, to know to look for a fire extinguisher, which is what you're doing.
Yeah, just
you know what I mean.
It's
to know
even
to look.
slight, like a hairspray bottle. Like all you need is a puff of wind. Anything that's going to put you in motion will put you in motion. So, boom, We'll take it.
Okay, with a 3 critical success, everybody else, the guards are like, woo, and the chef is like swimming in gravity. And you see him throw one of the knives, and the gun goes off up into the air. People scream, ah! Chaos begins to ensue, but it's like slow chaos because there's gravity. Yes, I made mouth noises, Mike.
I like
love
the
the mouth noises.
I love them. I just love the
And then, but Tamir, you see it just out of the corner of your eye. It's in distance, and you reach and grab it, and you over as fast as you can. You see, immediately that you're headed straight for the door, and there is your good friend Joey. And Joey goes, "Hey, it's so good to see you."
Hey, what?
He goes, "What's with this no gravity?"
This is a bit of our cover, Joey. Can you please get the ship started? Like now. We need to leave now. It's ready to go. I'm sure you did great work.
He hands you over the like piece that needs to insert into the reactor to make the ship start the actual core. Like reactor core. He hands it over to you. He goes, he goes, I can't stay here. I gotta go.
I was gonna say spark plug.
Basically the spark plug. Yeah, that's what he hands you as a spark plug. He goes like, yeah, I gotta go, kid. He goes, but I can promise you the ship's clean. I pulled all the bugs.
Thank you, Tori. You are the best. It is really good to actually see somebody we can genuinely trust for once. And I feel like Tamir's just gonna reach and like kiss his forehead because it just feels good to just for once have something go their way.
Oh, okay. All right, big boy. And then the camera cuts back over to everybody else. And you get, what is everybody else doing in this moment? Like basically gravity lets go, people start screaming. Some people are trying to get out. You can hear them like leaving and exiting with the warning that came over the comms.
Well, as we know, since we saw it live about 2 weeks ago, Malik is the best swimmer in the group. He, much like when they were forced underwater, he grabs onto like whatever's like a pole or something nearby, and he like grabs and like puts his feet on it and kicks off and just kicks in the general direction of the ship.
Okay, so you're using an object.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna make you make the dexterity check,
Yep.
but this time I'll let you make it at a -1 instead of a -2 because.
Alia was definitely thinking about like assisting them by like grabbing and just like spinning and like chucking them across because she's like a big lady and she's got the strength for it. But if you
Let's
are
see how
open
they
to
do.
it,
Let's see.
okay.
Well, hang on. Let's see how. Okay, so let's get your roll. Give me your roll, Mike.
Yeah.
What you waiting on?
A 0.
Okay. You are moving, but it's not terribly successful.
Perfect.
It's like a slow push, but it is a push. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. You see Amira laugh, and she says, "Oh, I was built for this." And she jumps and kind of takes off.
I hate her so much.
She rolls the 1, and she kind of like spins in the air like she's dancing. She's having far too much fun with this, and she pulls knives as well. I mean, gets slinging knives at these 2 guys that are. We'll get to them here in a second. Alia, Tal, what do you do? Oh, you're muted.
Well, Alia is gonna turn to Tal. Do you need a boost?
Tal's already like using the crate that they were hiding behind to try to launch herself. Seeing that everybody else seemed to be doing that, it seemed to be working-ish. So
Yeah, give a good push.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it to just try to launch myself, just really as forcefully as I can, knowing that it's not gonna do very much in 0G.
So again, an agility start there, and we'll say if Alia helps you, you can take a -1 as well instead of a -2. So like the overall, yeah.
Okay. Nope.
Oh.
Nope. So yeah,
You and Malik are
also-
neck and neck. You get the push, but like once you hit empty gravity, it's still like the momentum only rides you so far. And Malik's trying to like row his way over with the stick. Tal, you got a boost and you kind of caught up, but you're slow moving towards the vessel. Alia,
Dot,
What are you actually doing?
Wait 1 second. Dot, I hate your brain. I hate your whole brain. I hate your whole fucking brain. I'm looking at my character sheet,
love it.
thinking about what I have to use, and I was like, oh, you know what Malik has? A giant rusty spear that he can use to row his way over there. And then you were like, Malik's rowing over with a giant stick, and I was like, what the fuck? Did I say that out loud? No! Get out of my head, you psycho.
Okay. What do you do on your turn, Ollie? You've helped everybody else.
Okay,
And then
yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
think
tell you
at
what's
this
going on around
point,
you.
is there a wall or something like much more, a little bit more like?
Yeah, there's a wall
the dawn-
behind you.
Oh yeah, and then at this point, like that's all she could think of doing. I wish I had like force push or something. I'm like, why am I not a Jedi? But yeah, I think that's all she can do is just like use her massive thighs and then just like push off.
Okay, roll a dexterity. You're gonna take a -2 because you don't have anybody helping you.
Okay. Crap. Oh, this is gonna be bad. So -2, and then I have a 0 in dexterity. So that's yeah.
You can't even roll it. If
You can't even roll it. So you're moving.
Just do agility.
You should just roll an
I'll have that
agility.
plus. Yeah, I'll just do, which is a 2. So that puts me at a 0.
You can roll it. You just can't roll if it's an advanced skill with 0 in it.
Okay, I'll
There's
just
no-
roll the agility.
Yeah, just roll the agility.
It's just gonna fail. What? Oh, invalid left hand.
Yeah, because
side
you
is
don't
like-
have enough die. You have 2 die.
Yeah.
-2 puts you at 0, so you don't
Oh,
even
yeah,
have
yeah.
enough. So that's okay. You push off. You're
Yeah,
slow
my agility's
moving.
up.
You're very slow moving, but you are getting there. Like, this is not a check on whether or not you can get across to the ship. This is more of a check of how quickly and how gracefully you all do it.
Man, the chef really, really screwed us up.
Yep. Do. Lamar's gonna try, because she has to do it as well, to get across. I don't think that she has anything special. She may just have far too much fun with this. We shy. Come on, Lamara.
She's still in the box.
Well, okay, she can make this roll. It'll be a miracle if she actually makes it. But she can. Oops, I'm sorry. So she should have been 1 die less if she failed. No, 2 die less. So yes, she failed. Lamara is with you, Alia. Just kind of like, this is great. Her dress is like floating. She's spinning. She's making her way over there, but with no sense of the fact that there's mass danger around her. The 3 agents are in direct combat with these other, the 2 agents and your sister are in direct combat with these agents. They are firing. Okay. A shot rings out and pings in the shoulder the large man. And you can see his blood like splatters and stays kind of congealed or in like droplets in the air as he holds his shoulder. They continue to throw like knives and such. It's kind of a messy event because the gravity is off. She's gonna succeed. He's gonna fail. Actually, and he's gonna also fail. So she's the only one. You see your sister, and she's a badass. She's like using them against one another, and she slings a bunch of like throwing knives from the pockets on the side of her pants, and slams into one of the guys. And he like misfires up his friend, and he kind of puts a couple shots into the other guard. You all make it and catch Tamir planting a kiss on Joey's forehead.
Tamir, now's not the time for making out with Joey. We
He
gotta
goes,
go.
hey, it's so good to see you. You should get out of here. This is not looking so good.
Yeah, I'm trying.
He goes, hey, I don't know you.
Hello.
Hi. He says as he like looks up, because he's kind of a short, well-built, kind of stocky gentleman. what my mama would say, pure Irish. He pure Irish. He looks like a little Irish man. And he goes, you new to the crew?
Nice to meet you. Yes, my name is Alia.
He goes, well, he kind of takes your hand and he kisses. He goes, I'm Joey.
There's gunfire.
What?
Yeah, Tally.
Right, you should get
Tal
out of here. Go.
essentially just
Yeah,
went
Tamir is already,
straight
like,
past.
Pulling his way through the ship to immediately go.
Oh, I thought he was like
fucking
following
spark
us, but
plug.
okay.
Yeah, no, Tal did not stop.
He seems a bit enamored with Alia at the moment, but all of you scamper off and he goes, wait, you're gonna need this, and he hands over a new key card because there's like new keys basically, right? Because they changed all the locks on you, so he hands you like a new set of keys, Tal. He goes, the old ones ain't gonna work.
Thanks. Yeah,
And,
I don't have them anyways.
He says, you better get going before they lock us down. He says, but you could find me if you ever wanted to just have a drink or something. We could you should I'll see you around.
Yeah,
And he like
thanks.
winks kind of
All right.
awkwardly.
What is
All
happening
right,
right
bye. And I close the door. Like, come on, everybody, let's go. We gotta get moving.
now? Yeah,
Mara is last in, no doubt.
Malik
Yeah.
runs to the cockpit and he slides into the comm seat.
That's a lot of rolls. Dot.
That's 1,
Why?
2, 3 for them. Well, because they're still fighting
Oh,
around
okay.
you.
Yep.
Okay.
1, 2, and a melee combat attack. Okay, the big man takes a shot to the head right as you hear the door like closed. The chef, you hear him go, no! He kind of screams out as he throws a knife at one of the guards. It's so much force even against the gravity that he pins him by the neck to the wall behind him. You hear your sister crack a neck and finish one of them off, and the gunfire kind of rapidly dissipates as all of you finally have your feet inside the doors of the Defiant.
Okay, not to be me, but what's the plan?
Tal is still running straight to the cockpit. Sally, sorry, my head's hurting. Sally, start all the shit. Fuck.
Saludos, welcome back, Captain
Oh,
Tal
God.
Tuma.
We're gonna have to change that. I don't like that voice.
How can I be of service? I am the new and improved Sally. Here for all of your computing and piloting and navigating and research needs.
That's like half of my job.
Yeah, we can just erase that part.
Erasing.
Cool. Anyways,
that's
prepare for launch now.
Prepare for launch.
And you hear like the ship kind of starts that process. You hear a steam release happen. That moment of the ship like booting up. Tamir, you know that the ship shouldn't boot up before the reactor core, isn't it? So can you make me a quick science roll to go slip that in, since it's like a nuclear reactor and all that jazz?
Yeah,
I also take technology, but science.
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll take
perfect.
the two.
It's like a
You're
little
running,
reactor.
and you hear
Tamir just
Tal
hasn't
over.
stopped. He's just like,
Yeah.
"Ah!"
You hear Tamir or you Tal
Not
overhead
running.
go start the ship, and Tamir goes, oh, the reactor core's not in it, and you're like running, you're like sliding down these metal poles, and you perfectly slide it in and click it into place right as you hear Sally go, starting ship. And the ship boots up. We hear that process start. I'm so mean, aren't I?
Yes.
Please don't be. You have a choice there.
I've only used one corruption bar, though.
We only got 18 minutes left. so-
Great.
Suddenly,
Oh,
running
how-
towards the ship is charity.
Don't leave me!
Wait!
Leave me. Lock the doors.
I'm
no one else in.
I'm so bad. So the doors lock. You hear everything boot up. The reactor core clicks into place. Everything goes to start up, and then you hear it.
What do we hear, Dot?
Here. Oh, did y'all not hear it?
No.
No. Mouth noises.
Yes, y'all didn't hear it. My power down?
No.
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 That's very sad. I have a power down sound, but I guess
It may just be too soft
Oh.
if you
Oh.
put the volume too low on it.
I don't think so. It was very loud. Let's try again. No?
Nope.
Okay. Never mind. Oh, I know why. It's because it's not in Stream Deck. Duh. It's because it's in. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. So the
Mouth noises.
yeah, mouth noises.
What does it sound like?
You hear the ship go boo as it like powers down.
I like the retro. Well done.
And something is wrong, Tamir.
I didn't do it. Everybody, give me like 5 more minutes and figure out what is going on. This isn't our ship anymore.
Yeah, Tal's gonna start running diagnostics, try to find anything that's not in the system or anything in the system that wasn't before.
Okay. You start running diagnostics. You're like, everything looks fine. Everything's new. All the buttons have the letterings on them. Like you can see what everything is brand spanking new, but it's exactly as it was. In almost this eerie kind of Stepford wife way. You know what I mean? Or like Stepford. I will give a bonus to Tamir, who needs to diagnose this because you're doing it with him basically. So I'll give you a plus from Tal to Tamir. Tamir, you need to make the technology roll.
Okay. Take a 2.
Okay. They clearly did not put something to back together. This ship is yours. Well, you know the inner workings of this vessel better than anyone. You and Tal do. What is wrong with the ship? Why won't it start?
Oh, wow.
Can you
Okay.
answer that question? What's wrong with my ship?
The ship won't start. Well, like all good ships, there's a rat on it, like a literal actual space rat. And it, even though it is brand new, we're in the cellar,
Yes.
in the net of the cellar, and we've got a little rodent infestation.
Oh, okay. You open up like a panel and you see it, a nest of a mother rat and a bunch of baby rats.
You guys know what the best treatment for space rats is, right?
Pets.
A space cat.
Yeah. Yeah. We
Lamara goes, "No, you can't hurt them!" And she throws her body over them. Outside, you can hear there is more gunfire happening. There's some, maybe more guards have shown up. You're not entirely sure. And she goes, "We have to keep them safe."
we have to.
We have to go. Pull them out of there.
What? Okay. And Lumara scoops them up. And takes this. She goes, "Oh, it's okay. I will be okay." And she takes them to the med lab.
Congrats, Lamar. You have pets. Don't let them chew my ship.
I promise. I'll take care of them. I promise.
Oh, God.
Eris's motherly instincts are just triggering off and just like, God damn it.
I just
It's
got
a teenager
3
with
new rats.
What did you do that for?
And she pitters off. And after they're removed, see, they had kind of gnawed away at just one wire that wasn't touched. And you quickly it's just that one small tiny ass little thing, and you tighten
But
it
it's
back.
just a freaking enough, right? Of
But
course.
it's just enough. It is just enough. And the ship boots up. And sure enough,
Oh, get this out of here. We're good to go.
Just to be
Someone open the doors. And I look at Malik.
What?
Can't leave without a door open. Everyone belt up.
you are on lockdown. Actually, yeah.
Can I open
hear-
Can I
you
open
hear
the door?
Sally.
Oh, good.
She just says, the bay is locked down. Under critical alert, they are sending more units.
You sure can try. You can roll the data in. Try
I
to
can
hack
do
our way
that.
out.
I guess so.
Try
Yeah.
to open the door.
By the way, while this is happening, like I'm assuming this is because they retrofitted and then effed with the ship. Are the blessings still intact that Sholi and I gave the ship?
Oh, damn it! You needed to make that at a -2. Okay, it is still a critical success, though it's only a 2 critical success because I'm gonna take you needed to do that at a -2, so I'm gonna take your last 2 die off.
Fine.
But you still get a critical success. Don't hurt yourself.
Success. It's limited.
Yeah.
No, because two d6s is
It's
a
a
critical.
No, 2 is a limited.
Oh.
3 is a critical. 3 plus is a critical. I'm still counted as critical outside. But 2's fine.
Okay.
Two's great.
Two's fine.
Great job, bro.
Yeah, it is a success. Basically, you do. It's gonna take you a second. Alia, I'm so sorry. Ask me again what your question was.
Oh, I was just wondering if the 2 blessings that Sholi and I gave the ship are
The
still there.
one that was on the outside of the ship
Yeah.
that Sholi left. No, that
Okay.
one is long gone because it was part of that panel on the ship. Tal, if I remember correctly, you were sneaking over to that panel. Would you? You know what? Would you like to roll to have grabbed it
Yes, please.
retroactively? I
Give me
will.
my blessed panel, please.
We'll say that you get over there and you don't get the big piece that said the Defiant on the side of it because it's just too large, but you can see a burned off chunk where they probably took like a torch to it, like cut it out of a side of something, her blessing. And you are able to pull it out. We'll say that you got it. This is why darkness points can be used for kind things. You can thank Anon for our final darkness point that allowed Tal to bring Sholi's blessing back onto the Defiant.
Thank you.
As for
Alia
your
also has the ability to bless. So like
so your the bless that you're talking about is the one you get for having a chapel on the board. The chapel is still here, so it never leaves. So it's like part of having a blessed chapel just on board the ship. Sholi's is like an extra benefit that Dot kind of gave. And then if you pray, if Ollie prays, then you get another blessing while things are going on. But yes, so
that's
the chapel,
all I can do.
Maybe you run, the chapel is there. It's all brand new. It feels unused. It doesn't even smell like incense or anything. It's like fresh car smell. It's just like not, yeah.
Where's the orb, Dot?
Question. It's not there.
Fuck. Because that's where like Alia, like when she goes into the chapel, the first thing she does is like she goes to a hidden panel that's back there, like in this basically kind of like in a nook in a corner, and kind of opens it up because that was where she put that orb. And
it's not there.
Yeah. So she kind of like stares at it for a second, and then she kind of just shakes her head, and then kind of just sits down and then starts praying.
The prayers begin. Malik, you very successfully hack in, no problem. The consortium definitely put a bolt lock, there are like these big crane hands that lock your ship down. They put, it's kind of like a boot,
Like
but
space
for a
boot.
spaceship.
Yeah.
A space boot. A spoot. You undo the spoot. And the spoots release, and the main door, you can hear it start to as it's like opening up. This begins to empty out into space, and because you rode the whole thing, guards start being sucked out. You hear a body like smash into the side of the Defiant as it bangs and then is like gone into space.
So Malik didn't quite think, because Tal just said, "We can't go with the doors closed." So he was like, "Oh," and it went on autopilot. And then as soon as
this is critical success.
As soon as he sees the first thing get sucked out of the thing, you see him unbuckle and quickly move to like what makes for the windshield, because spaceships have windshield for no reason.
Yeah, sure.
And he looks out and he's like, Samara. Like, what? Like, hoping that she fucking gets sucked into space.
Oh, you're looking for Amira?
Yeah,
Get
Amira.
sucked out. Amira, Samina. You're talking about
Samina,
Amira.
that's what I was going to say. Samina.
You look. You do not see signs of Samina. You do see the chef holding on for dear life. He's like clinging to a pole. Things are like being sucked past him. And crates are like banging and stuff. You do not see Amira.
He like goes there and like a kid at the zoo, right? And then he like unsticks his face and turns back to Tal and just shakes his head and walks back to his seat and buckles back in.
Meanwhile, Tal's gonna try to get this ship out the fucking place, please.
As Tal's doing that, though, can Tamir with the, I mean, as a research vessel with the crane arm, can he try to grab the chef?
I mean, okay, hang on. Let's see. I'll roll for him.
It's not the smartest thing to do, but like, man, they already just lost one. Now they're just leaving bodies behind.
She got stuff all over the place. You know that's their whole thing, right? He would have a bit more. So, hey, he is like successfully hanging on. He doesn't look like he's going to die.
I have a better idea. I have a better idea.
What?
Hello, we're back on the ship. Tamir's jumping in his freaking exoshell.
Yes, you can do that.
Yeah, great. He's already in it.
Wiggle jiggled into you're like,
yeah, he knows how to. He's done
prepared.
this before. The emergency situation that's maybe not even all parts are on.
Right.
But he can't keep leaving bodies behind.
Well, like I said, he doesn't look like he rolled 2 6s to hang on to that pole. So it doesn't look like he's getting sucked out. It just looks like it's like hanging on in the middle of a tornado at the moment. While the ship is going to have to take off. Tao, I imagine you're not making another blind jump. Or are you?
No.
Okay. You're just going to try to get out of here.
We just need to get out of here, and then
okay.
we can worry about jumping later.
Great. All right. Let's get your piloting roll. You brought Sholi's blessing back on. You have a chapel on board. Alia is currently praying for you. In addition, this is a maneuverability, and because the vessel does have its maneuver hovers put back on, you still get the +2, I believe, for this. It's like helps you drive the ship. So that would be 5.
Okay.
Holy cannoli.
Wow.
Okay, 2 limited successes enough. You don't even care that the door is not entirely open. Tao boots this ship up and begins to take off. It is slow moving at first, and you can hear the sound of the metal, like almost like eking on the tops and bottoms where the garage door is being like crunched at the moment as you get free. But sure enough, you have no problem. Now you got it. And the ship blast out. From behind it, you can hear the doors like almost break a little bit. And they quickly slam back shut, leaving you behind. And the vessel shoots off into empty space. You can see Coriolis from here. You can see Kua from here. I actually have a really great picture of Kua I shall share with all of you. It's rather beautiful. And this side of space, you know pretty well. Tao and Tamir specifically, because you traveled it quite a lot over the last little bit. And as Coriolis gets smaller and smaller and smaller, there's the first sign of like silence on the ship. No gunshots, no panic. And you hear the, you hear your dear sister, or I'm sorry, not sister, haha, not your sister. You hear Sally come over.
Captain Tau Tuma, we are free of Coriolis. What is our trajectory?
I'm gonna manually fly. Sally, stop tracking me.
Stopping all tracking and navigation systems. Flying in manual mode.
And Tal is going to manually go out to one of the places that we went before when we were mining.
Okay, you're headed for the asteroid belt that's on the other side before you reach the rest of Kua. Smart. Very, very smart. I'll actually
Tal-
bring y'all over to that so you can see it.
Tal is fully intending to hide out in the asteroid belt for at least a little bit so that we can cool off and figure out what the next step is.
It'll take you 2 days to get to the asteroid belt proper. You would know that. This is Kua here. And you know the asteroid belt separates most of the Kua system from Zine, which is where the emissaries were said to arise or awaken from. And as you kind of slowly head towards that, you hear something over the intercom. The sound of music. I wouldn't say ballroom music, but kind of quaint, jaunty tune. And you hear Lumara. She says,
I'm not sure if I know how these comms work, but I'm pretty sure we were all promised to dance.
and you can hear her feet as she comes out. She is not changed out of her dress. Why would she? And you can hear the music plays over the comm system throughout the whole vessel. And Tao, you're able to set a trajectory. It's a straight shot. You just have to make put the vessel on basically stealth mode and auto course, which is what you do, no problem, with the 2 successes. Lumara goes to Malik first. And she says, "You promised me a dance."
Yep. I did promise you a dance. Okay. All right. Okay.
She looks very excited that you've relented and she doesn't have to fight you on it. And she kind of all but snatches you out of your chair. And you see, if you come into mess, you'll see Lumara and Malik dancing, slow dancing to this ballroom music. Anybody else want to join them?
I'm pretty sure. I think Aya's still in the chapel.
You praying?
Yeah. Although I think at this point, based on just I'm assuming at this point, because she feels like the ship is in this basically cruise control mode.
Correct.
You could probably feel it, that we're not in any danger or anything anymore. So yes, I think she'd come back to the front of the ship and she'd be there. And I don't think she'd specifically join, but you could just see her swaying to it.
Maybe you're making tea.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
they've
oh my God.
stocked the cabinets full of tea.
Okay, I was going to be like, what happened to my tea
They've stocked the
stuff?
cabinets with food, y'all, and tea. The armory, or the area where you would keep tools and weapons, is all restocked. Soul's room is not Soul's room anymore. All of your personal items are. A lot of them are gone. You will see that in each of your rooms, there's a small box that they've left of what items they could recover, I would say, of yours. But there's not necessarily a lot. Like I said, it's kind of like a clean retro version. But what about Tal and Tamir?
After flying out, Tal probably just sits in the captain's chair for a little while, just looking at the fresh everything around her. It's all new. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Tal's never seen this ship new. It's all been old for as long as she can remember.
I think Tamir still kind of at least partially stood up. Maybe he's got the helmet off in his arm. Just kind of rests a hand on Tal's shoulder and says, "Welcome home. I'll go start the inspection, external first."
Can we just sit for a minute?
Sure. And he'll clunk down with the suit.
Tal just kind of leans into him for a minute and says, This is definitely weird. It's like it's the same thing, but it's not at all the same thing. Kind of pat the piece of metal that I dragged with me to the pilot's chair. Like, this is my ship.
Hmm.
This is not.
So maybe it needs a new name. Something to honor what it once was, but to celebrate what it will become.
Like what?
A symbol of hope. A new home. We, and he kind of just like hold on to her a little tighter, right? We are the Defiant. It does not matter what vessel we drive.
We probably could have gotten a new one a lot easier than this.
Probably could with, yeah, but I mean, Joey was here, and I actually feel pretty good about what Joey did. I mean, we still have to completely. There's so much inventory to run, and there's
Well,
rats.
We have time.
Correction, pet rats.
Yeah.
It's even worse.
You know, at least I made Lamar responsible for them.
You know, that was actually a very captain thing of you to do. Give
I mean,
her
it
a
gives her something to
responsibility.
do. And, you know, everyone always acts like she's a child. Give her somebody else to take care of for once.
What will you call the ship? Captain Taltuma?
The annoyance.
Not quite the symbol of hope. I was,
Did you have something in mind? Because all I can think of is how annoyed I am that I have to rename the damn thing.
Maybe it's something that we all can discuss over tea.
And at that point, like Alio's like walks in with the tray. Anybody up for some tea?
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
We see a moment where T is passed out and sipped very quietly out the front of the Defiant as all of you stare into empty space as you head a 2-day trip towards the asteroid belt. And the camera cuts to the sound of classical music in the mess hall. Lamara and Malik dance. Malik, do you say anything?
No, I wrote it in chat. The song that's playing is "Once Upon a Dream," and Malik is hum singing it.
Lamara looks very happy, like a genuine smile, like a real smile, as the two of you dance. And she says, "You know, it's kind of hot when you do rebellious things, like tell the entire Third Horizon about what's going on."
Like he pauses, like humming the line, and he goes, "I know."
And she goes, you know, I'm pretty great at doing rebellious things.
I know.
So we could like do them together.
We are.
She smiles again to that as you keep dancing. And she simmers on that, and she actually stops you from dancing for a second. She goes, "But I mean it.
What?
Like, we could blow stuff up, or kill some more Nazarene agents, or..."
For the record, I'm not a fan of killing people in general.
Oh.
It's not something I seek out. It's just something that happens sometimes.
Well, I could kill them, so you don't have to.
No, I would rather we didn't. That's why I work on a keyboard.
Keyboard warrior.
I've seen enough death and destruction. I don't really want to be the cause of more.
She goes, "Oh.
At least not on purpose."
Okay. And she says, "But you know that your speech is gonna inspire so many people to do just that, right?"
Yeah, but they were doing it already. Now they just have something to rally behind.
Yeah, you.
Well... That's it. He just leaves it at well.
Okay, she plants.
He has no comeback for that
nothing to
one.
say to that.
Yeah.
Yep. And she like plants a kiss on your cheek when you don't have anything to say. She's like, "I guess what I'm saying is, we're kind of like a dashing team or whatever, and I will, if you need to do that."
I appreciate it, but like, last resort.
Okay, right. Last resort.
Yeah.
Do you want to pet the rats?
Well, I'll watch you pet them.
I mean, there we could just start the song over.
Perfect.
Okay.
And he says, clicks a button and it starts over.
It starts the song over, and she picks back up dancing, and y'all dance for quite a while. As that sound of beautiful music kind of fades into the distance, and the sound of kind of the crackling of a radio, a broadcast picks up. That same song blares through this radio, but it kind of dwindles to the close of the song, and you hear a new voice on the radio. New voice. Male voice. Kind of big and bolsterous. Might be the kind of voice you'd hear on maybe like an NPR station. And this voice comes through and he says, "Third Horizon, it is my great honor as Ryder Turlington to join you as the new voice of this show. I will be Charity's replacement moving forward, and I have news for you. It has come to our attention that changes have taken place amongst the council factions. Sister Almas has been suspended because of her actions during the banquet, and thanks to the false accusations of war crimes in Uhara made against the Order, she will be suspended for many, many months, if not replaced entirely. In addition, the destruction of the Order's blockade in Uhara leaves the factions at a considerable loss, both military and diplomatically speaking. The restriction is placed on Zalo as we speak. They are now openly challenged in the councils, and there is even talk of punitive action. Governor Dargosian's finesse to remain in office is now also questioned, and the Homogeny will launch a campaign to have him fully replaced. This begins tomorrow. They seek a new leader, preferably someone with stricter policies. That is the news of the Third Horizon. This has been Ryder Turlington." As the radio clicks off, you see a hand covered in a kind of black glove and meets the black leather bodysuit or jacket that is here, and it follows all the way up to a helmet under a arm, and the face of someone the last time we saw was supposed to be dead. Kasha sits here listening to the radio. Around her sits a slew of soldiers, All of them around their neck wear a symbol necklace. Same one, representing the current rise of the Nazarene. She doesn't say a whole lot, but she just set her helmet to the side. She stands. And she lifts her shirt to show like her stomach. And you can see there is a scar about yay big around through the center, just under her rib cage. And she simply says, "We have all bled. We have all sacrificed for this war. But it is just beginning. The crew of the Defiant has escaped Coriolis. They are spreading word of our plans to every ear that will listen. The Consortium is already hot on our heels, and more importantly, they are now working with a different patron. You're to hunt them down. You're to kill them all. Dismissed." She puts her shirt down, hiding that wound once again from the piece of rebar that punctured her stomach way back on Kua. They all stand. They nod their hands. They all tuck the necklace underneath. And they walk out into the cellar, hiding amongst the people, flowing to and fro. And eventually they all become lost, mixed into the crowd. And our camera will pan out on the agents of the Nazarene, dispersing themselves amongst the people on Coriolis, and now amongst the Third Horizon, to begin the hunt for our dear, dear Draconites, the ones who seek to find the information necessary to out them to all of the Third Horizon. But our crew has a home again, even if it may not be the same home. And they are all back together, safely. And they got a pet.
You said "and babies."
Fucking Joey.
Yes, pets.
Do you know how many babies a rat can have?
Uh-huh.
Fucking
I
Joey.
mean, is there
Joey,
a male rat?
Joey, you
And where's
said
the-
babies.
Where's the
you said
male
rats.
rat?
You said rats,
No.
Joey.
Yeah, that was
did.
on
This
you.
is on
Yeah,
you.
you said rats, and I made a baby rats.
Yeah.
You said a nest.
You did that.
I did. Rats are really sweet and cute, though. They're
That's
such little
great.
creatures.
They are. They're
Now
great.
Tamir gets to worry about rats eating everything. Good job.
Well,
You did that.
Laura's got some plans. She's got plans. Don't you worry.
Listen, I'm just saying, the last time I stole something and put it on the ship, it's benefited us pretty greatly. So far, KP saved Space Tommy Laren, and Joey gave us rats. So, I mean, Lamar is not bad compared to everything else.
Great.
That's a nice episode, y'all, because, they did it. You got up Coriolis and
Jesus.
Kua. You have a ship. You have a new patron and some new support. You're kind of on the run, trying to figure some things out, but
Isn't that always the case for us? Haven't we always been on the run?
Yeah. Pretty
which
much.
is so funny because you didn't actually have to be. You didn't have to be.
We like
You
it there.
chose to be. Yeah, you like it there.
You like it
That's
there.
right. You like it there, which is the big thing.
Yeah.
And don't forget, you're going to be contacted by Sedona soon. No, the other chick.
I
Not Sedona.
certainly hope we don't hear from him.
Oh,
That
I'm
means we're
sure that
caught.
you will.
Oh,
you
we
just
will.
took
we
a
will.
very
Mm-hmm.
large investment from him, which is called the ship you're on. No, Saudi. Saudi said she'd be in contact in 24 hours, so you should hear from her soon. You should hear from her soonest.
Okay. Okay.
But we'll have to find out about that next week and see if y'all can get what you've been wishing for, which is some more information
Okay.
on these here emissaries.
Okay. All right. That is it for episode 3. That sounds right.
That-
Episode 3 of season 4. 4? 3.
3.
It's 3.
Uh,
Episode
I
3,
was
season
kidding.
4. We're going to do our introductions, get the hell out of here so we can go do our after show. If you guys want access to the after show, it'll be on Patreon soon. So join us down there, link down below. While you're down there, join us over in the Discord. But for now, Rat King, please, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to? You son of a bitch.
What
Perfect. KP, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Squeak, 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 squeakers, squeak, squeakers, squeak, squeak, squeakity, squeak.
I hate this show. Eris, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to? Dot, you wanna make mouth noises?
Wolf. Arf, arf. Arf, arf, arf. Arf, 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 arf. Wolf.
Goodbye, everybody.